Oklahoma's offense just isn't good, and it's not living up to the standard of what we as fans expect, and quite honestly, what this program expects. And Brent Venables sees that, and you have to imagine a change is coming, whether it's on the coaching staff, in the play calling. You've already seen them make a change at the quarterback position, moving potentially Jacoby Johnson from cornerback to wide receiver. These are the things you want to see. But does Brent Venables actually need to make a coaching change? I'm here to tell you why it actually might not be what you think, because Seth Littrell, for those of you who are not familiar with his background, pretty good offensive coordinator, a guy that probably could run an offense anywhere he wanted to. The question is, are Oklahoma fans going to give him enough time? So let's jump into it. Let's discuss it today. If you guys haven't already, you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Over 60% of you guys aren't subscribed. And guys, I want to try to get to 15,000 by the end of the season. So help me out. It's completely free to you. Just check, see if you're subscribed below. But let's jump into it. Seth Littrell, I've seen some discourse and some discussions happening about, should we move on from Littrell and Joe John Finley? And I'm not here to say that some of the guys on this offensive staff, their days might be numbered. Because I do think there are guys that maybe Oklahoma is going to move on from, right? They've been in the program for a while. Maybe they're not producing well. The first guy that I don't think you should go after is Bill Bedenbaugh, because this is the first year I think we've really seen him not have a great offensive line. And there was just some variables that were out of his control, right? Andrew Rame leaves for the draft early and honestly made a mistake on his part. Then you have Caden Green go to Missouri. Like, that was out of Bill Bedenbaugh's control. You could say maybe the recruiting wasn't there the previous couple of years, but that just kind of gets on board with, well, how was this program on board with the NIL when it first kicked off, right? I don't think Oklahoma was necessarily willing to pay with those big boys right when it started as of where they are right now. So I would say Bill Bedenbaugh needs more time. I don't think we need to be on the fire Bill Bedenbaugh train. He just landed you a 5-star offensive tackle and might have you one of the best offensive line classes Oklahoma's ever gotten. So that discussion needs to be taken off the table. You're not firing DeMarco Murray, but I've seen a lot of discourse around the offensive coordinator, Seth Littrell, Joe John Finley. And while I have a hard time making a case to retain Joe John Finley, I can make a case to retain Seth Littrell, at least for the rest of the season. And here's why. Because although Oklahoma's offense is bad, I mean, it is bad. To think about it this way, Oklahoma's total offense is at 119th in the country. The offensive coordinator everybody wanted in the offseason, Brennan Marion, they're at 48. You would take 48 right now. You have 48. You have the 48th offense in the country. You're undefeated. And it probably ain't close in a lot of these games. Not to mention, this is the thing that I think kills Oklahoma fans the most. You go and you look at the passing offense. Oklahoma's number 111th. 111th. Only averaging 171 passing yards per game. That tells you your quarterback play ain't there. Rushing offense, 101, 128. And then when you look at the scoring offense, Oklahoma's at 77 with 29 points a game. I understand the offense is not performing where you want it. But I want to give you a little background on Seth Littrell here, because I think this is important for Oklahoma fans to understand why you need to give Seth Littrell maybe a little bit more time. And this might be as simple as, I'm not sure if they're running a little bit of Levy's playbook in with Littrell's, but if they are, maybe it's as simple as, hey, we're cutting it out. We're going strictly to Seth Littrell's playbook. Or, hey, maybe we just need to cut out the RPOs. Maybe it's that simple. But Seth Littrell ranked 4th all-time at North Texas in career victories at 44, averaging 6.3 wins per season, and stands as the second best average in program history. Here's the deal. His units at North Texas ranked among the top 3 in the Conference USA in total offense, passing offense, and scoring offense for 4 consecutive seasons, 2017 through 2020. And they led the Conference USA in rushing offense during the 2020 and 2021 season. So to act like Seth Littrell has never put up a good offense, it's just simply not true. To look at the numbers. In 2023, when Littrell took over play calling, or in 2020, when he took over play calling duties with North Texas, The Mean Green ranked 8th nationally in total offense, 513.2 yards per game. North Texas ranked 8th nationally. How often do you see North Texas ranking that high nationally in anything? 23rd in scoring, 34.4 yards per game, and all of his squads produced 4 of the 7th highest scoring offenses in school history. Think about that for a second. Seth Littrell, when he was at North Texas, his offenses were one of the best in the country. You look at his time at North Carolina, back when he joined the staff in 2014. And his first season in Chapel Hill, Littrell helped Carolina establish several school records, including most passing yards, most passing touchdowns, and most first downs. Littrell came to Chapel Hill from Indiana, where he guided the most prolific offenses in the country. Indiana finished 9th in the nation in total offense in 2013, averaging 508.5 yards per game. So again, you see examples where Seth Littrell's offense was one of the best in the country, and it can be one of the best in the country. And quite frankly, he comes to a place like Oklahoma where he's going to have more talent. Remember, this is only the first year of Seth Littrell being the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, and he's sharing some of those duties with Joe John Finley. Maybe it simplifies it to just make it to where Seth Littrell's the only offensive coordinator. Maybe you simplify it to, hey, when there's not as many injuries and you have more continuity on your offensive line and inside your offense, maybe this offense opens up a bit. Or maybe it's what we talked about at the beginning. Maybe you need to simplify the offense a little more for these young quarterbacks. Take away the RPOs and just make the game a little bit more simple. Maybe it comes down to this. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's too early to have the conversation to move on from Seth Littrell. Because now people look back and say, well, maybe Lebby wasn't as bad as we thought he was. When everybody over the past 2 years was calling for Lebby to be fired. And quite frankly, over at Mississippi State, I think you would take the offense that he's putting up over there. I think you would take what he's done with Blake Shapen at Mississippi State. If you have Jeff Lebby this year, right, in this offense, more continuity, right? Again, I think it's important to understand Jackson Arnold had his offensive coordinator turnover during the offseason. So you keep Jeff Lebby and have that continuity. Maybe we're not having a situation where Hawkins is the starting quarterback right now. Maybe Jackson Arnold has that confidence. Maybe he is one of the top quarterbacks in the country. But regardless, Oklahoma fans need to understand, yes, right now we're not living up to the standard. Maybe some changes need to be made, but jumping to the conclusion that a change needs to be made by getting rid of a coach, it's just not there yet. Maybe we evaluate this closer to the end of the season. If Littrell doesn't have it figured out then, maybe we have that conversation. But for Oklahoma fans, I urge you to just pull back the curtain a little bit. It could be worse. You could be Florida State. You could be Auburn. I mean, shoot, Florida State was 0-3. They're still starting DJU. You could be Auburn and frankly not know what your quarterback position looks like and your offense just be absolutely garbage. It could be worse. At least you have a defense that's going to carry you. And props to Jay over at Unfair Sports talking about it all offseason long. The defense will carry this team. So guys, if you haven't already and you've made it this far, make sure you jump in the comments below, join the discussion. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Let me know if you guys are on board with Seth Littrell and giving him just a little bit more time to figure it out. And as always, hit that like and hit that subscribe button.